beginning to realize that there is absolutely no way that I will be able to communicate what I see in terms of cultural design. Hi, honey. Hi, you sweetie baby. Some of it I could describe and will be comprehensible to someone, but there's too much complexity, and many people will, quite naturally, disagree. They will say, oh, that can't be that way. It will not work that way. And I understand where they're coming from. And perhaps it is a waste of time to attempt to describe it all. Perhaps the only option is to put pieces of it together and have it be working, and people experience the results of it. In seeing the results functioning happily, productively, they then could perhaps understand that it could work, that it would be an attractive way to live. Otherwise, pretty much everybody will find parts of it that they disagree with, and for them it's a deal breaker, but it's due to not understanding how things fit together. I've been thinking about this stuff for 40 years. I'm a little bit older than I look. I hope. And there's probably things I should not even bother trying to communicate, because they'll simply drive people away. It won't make sense to them. And a few deal breakers would be enough to say, they would say to themselves, well, I don't like that. Which is fine, I guess. It doesn't really hurt me. It's a big world, and I'm really looking for people who agree with the general vision, and I don't really want to keep things secret, but I also don't have to necessarily point out the disagreeable aspects to people who are just going to disagree. And in some cases, it's parts of the system that don't even affect them. They don't even know they exist. What a confusing realization. I can't just think up a reasonable cultural design and then say, hey, this makes sense. Because, of course, it's not going to make sense to somebody. It absolutely will not make sense. Not all of it. Some of it, we can argue about architecture and agriculture, but even that, somebody's going to say, no, you have to do it this way. I read this thing, or I took this course, and it has to be this way. And I've already experienced that, where people are like, no, and it's like, well, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Especially people with a lot of book knowledge or classroom knowledge who have never done things in reality. So, I don't know where that leaves me. I guess I just have to break my knowledge into pieces and give people the pieces that they like. And, of course, create a social environment that when they're in it, they really like it. It serves them well, and it lacks the negative parts that they don't like, because we're going to be sharing those. What a confusing realization. It's not how I like to do things. I like to be really upfront with people. Well, I suppose that makes sense in terms of like the idea of having workshops and events that people get invited into, and then they say to themselves while they're at that workshop or event, wow, I just really like how things are here. People are really nice, the food is all healthy, I feel comfortable, I feel safe, everybody's friendly and cool, and how could I be a bigger part of this thing? I think that's the way to do it. In other words, show them, don't tell them. And, of course, that process includes us evaluating them and whether they're a positive impact in the space or related spaces. Get to know them as they get to know us. Seems like it'd be easier just to be completely upfront, but it doesn't seem safe. It doesn't seem like it would work.